Hey guys, what is going on? Sorry, my dog, like, as soon as the song ended, started having a coughing fit, so I'm just checking on her to make sure she is okay. But welcome back, welcome back. We are here to talk about some MLS action, and here to talk with me today, let me bring him on the screen here. Russell with the camera, extremely at Mr. Dangerous. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing. Unfortunately, tonight is a straight tequila night due to a result that ended just before this stream.
Yeah, was watching that game as well, and I just have to say, Columbus were absolutely dominant in that match for the most part. So, really, really disappointing night for the Cincinnati crew.
Yeah, I think we didn't finish the chances that we had early, and it kind of came back to bite us. And then, I mean, we've given up. If you count a penalty, we've given up yet another two set piece goals in this rivalry. So that seems to just be the story: is we just give up set piece goals nonstop in this rivalry. So yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, the penalty, hard to disagree with that. Oh, hey, what's up, MLS Aces? Thanks for dropping by. See the little eyeball emojis there. All right, so we did miss the midweek action, so definitely want to get in on that a little bit. So let me pull up the screen share. Here we are. And wanted to first get a look at some of the options, and Russell and I agreed to just pick one match from the midweek. So let me make sure the screen share is working. It is. All right. So just what I've got pulled up for listeners who aren't watching the stream. Just looking at, when you type in MLS on Google, it's got that little widget that has all the games and stuff in a nicely laid out format. That's what I'm looking at basically. And we have a couple different options from Wednesday. A lot of different options. Looks like there was about 10 games midweek. Russell, I'm going to let you go first. Pick a game from the midweek, and let's talk about some of the storylines from it.
I'm going to actually double dip on Cincinnati tonight, and I'm going to choose the Cincinnati versus Vancouver match because I think this is, I mean, they should have won that. That should probably have been a 2-0 result for them, but unfortunately, they gave up two goals that they really just had horrific defensive errors on. And it kind of harkens back to almost like last season in 2019 and 2020. And it's just like we're into the middle of the season. Cincinnati is competitive, and now they're having horrific defensive errors that are costing them points again. So it's just watching that felt like a step backwards for the team. And I think it really just goes to show they need defensive help. They desperately, desperately need defensive help.
Yeah, like Nwabodo was a massive help in there and has helped you guys be a part of the playoff picture, but you guys need that like one step further, definitely. Um, MLS
Yeah.
Aces says Cincy is a long term project right now, but headed in the right path. Keep Cincy heads high. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely headed in the right direction. I wouldn't be surprised if they make playoffs this year at all. There are some
It's
playoff there are some teams in the playoffs right now that could probably fall out, and Cincy could easily be one of the teams to go in and replace them.
well, since he's still in it, even with this loss tonight, they're still in seventh.
Oh, they are. I
They
thought they
are
were just
still in it.
outside. I thought they
No,
were
no,
just
no, no.
outside.
Yeah, Charlotte, with the unfortunate result last night, did not pass them. So they said, I think Charlotte now sits in eighth.
Mm-hmm. MLS Aces says maybe a little Matt Miazga signing would help.
I think it's got to be the right contract though. Like Matt Miazga as a designated player does not light up all the I guess lights for me.
He
Like
doesn't check all the boxes.
yeah, he doesn't tick all the boxes. Like the box for Miazga is not a designated player. Is I think an important one, just because I don't know Miazga would help a lot, but I don't know if he is so good of a player that he's worth using a designated player spot on as a center back.
So you picked
I
the
mean,
Cincy versus Van. Oh, sorry. If you
since
want
the
to finish your
Vancouver
point,
match out midweek,
did you already finish what you wanted to say about that?
Dahome is still just as dangerous as we have constantly said he has been in the number of Vancouver rewatches that we've done so far.
Yeah.
So, and it was no surprise to me that Dahome got on the board late.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those players who, like I said, he's a frustration for me because he always gets the chances and very often does not take them. But here he is taking another chance. Always good to see Ryan Gauld as well. Just quickly, how did he look? Because I wasn't able to watch the match, but
Gauld, I think Gauld got the other goal.
no, yeah, he did. But how did he look
Yeah.
throughout the match from what you remember?
I mean, he was dangerous in that one time that he got a goal. I think just unfortunately, Vancouver, they played counterattacking very well. They hit Cincinnati on the transition, and Cincinnati, when it mattered, did not stand up to the threats. And so they gave up 2 goals, horrific goals. Um, it should be said. I mean, Ray
Yeah,
Gaddis completely whiffed the first clearance, and then I think Tyler Blackett, I want to say, made the mistake.
I
Uh,
think you texted me saying it was Blackett. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was, and still have been very frustrated with our defense.
Yep.
But I mean, again, we have Ian Murphy, who is, I think, your long-term project, and really you need to be finding quite a number of new center backs for Cincinnati.
Yep. Uh, Aces says Miazga as a high level TAM player would be solid if you ask me for that back line. I think so. TAM,
Yeah,
yes. DP, maybe not. DP center backs haven't seemed to work out in this league. Seen what's happened
yeah,
with Salcedo. I mean, Thiago Martins has been pretty good for NYCFC, all things considered. Hadibi over in Houston has been, I mean, if you look at Houston, hasn't
yeah.
worked out for them.
I think you can use a designated player spot to better effect in other areas of the field.
Yeah, sorry, I keep like muting and unmuting when I'm not talking because there's like a fan that can be heard, so I'm trying to keep it at a minimum when Russell's
Like this one,
talking. Yeah, no,
this
no,
fan right here.
this one. I know you can't see me, but that one. Aces says Blackett has been awful the past few
Oh,
weeks.
he's been bad. Yeah,
This is like
this is
Simon Says, just
yeah.
Aces
This is
says.
a Cincinnati group therapy session right now.
Yeah, Blackett has not been good. All right, well, I'm gonna
No,
steal the topics and head over to my pick, and I was going between these two teams. We're looking at Chicago versus Toronto and DC United versus Columbus. Let me put the screen share back on, and I picked Chicago. I was watching this match. I watched both of the matches. John Duran had an insane game. I don't know if like Toronto did hold like a pretty high line, but Duran was just getting in behind time after time after time and just oh my goodness gracious. It was really exciting to see. For those of you who don't know, John Duran is an 18-year-old striker. Chicago signed him when he was 17, and they could not get him until he was 18 because laws, sports laws, basically. And so they're really excited to have him. He's been in and around the first team. He's been getting bench minutes, starts here and there, and this just felt like a, a, a breakout game. That's the word. It felt like a breakout game watching it. He had multiple players on yellow cards from them taking him down. This was after he was already on two goals. And then Aces just brought it up. Brian Gutierrez, I've been saying it all season. Ever since I saw him play early on this season, I was like, this kid's going places. Technical, very good in the final third. Seems to make good decisions in the final third. And yes, he says, give me that Brian Gutierrez flick on repeat. That was insane. Russell, if you haven't seen it, I implore you to go to Chicago Fire FC's Twitter and check it out. He flicks it into John Duran. Duran takes it, really does well with it. I mean, it wasn't a perfect flick. It wasn't perfectly into the space. Duran does the rest, runs past his man, fires it home 2-0. Oh, gorgeous. So wanted to highlight that definitely. And Chicago are on the up. I think they're on the up. They just beat Toronto midweek. They just had a massive win over Seattle. Saw that game as well. I mean, the fans were really, really, really impressive in the Seattle match, I have to say. It got loud at full time. They were under pressure. And so my takeaway from this midweek match and jumping over to the weekend, Chicago are not a dumpster fire anymore. I'll stop talking.
Will Chicago make the playoffs though?
Depends on the consistency of Duran and Gutierrez, because I mean they seem to be doing a lot. They've got a young crew, Slanina in the back as well, and
Right.
then Gutierrez, Gaston. Oh my gosh, Gaston Jimenez. I think got injured in this match, and that's a big loss for them. I mean, he's not amazing, but he's a senior professional player who starts a lot of games for them. I think
Yeah.
he's one of their DPs. So I'm gonna say no, but I think it's not gonna be. I don't think they're wooden spoon contenders anymore in my eyes.
I think it's very telling that all these names that you've just listed off do not include people like Mueller, Shaqiri, Jairo Torres, and yet you're going towards this other group of people. And what does that say about the existing players in Chicago if your high profile guys aren't the ones you can count on?
Well, I mean, they're still contributing. Like Mueller scored a couple goals, I think. I will say Shaqiri against Seattle looked pretty good. Looked pretty good. Just saying,
Okay,
he created a
you
couple
know
really good chances. They just didn't
my
score
take on
them.
Seattle right now though.
Yeah, yeah. So this was the starting lineup for the Toronto match. Duran up top, Gutierrez left, Shaqiri through the middle, Mueller on the right. Um, I don't know. I've just been very impressed with Chicago these past two games. So we can go ahead and move on and talk about the weekend that was. We still got games going on right now.
Yeah, the weekend
Nashville's
that still is.
live. Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough. Fair point.
I'm watching Nashville right now. I'm watching Christian Bale kind of, carry the ball at his feet and dance around at the top of Nashville's defensive line. And I'm like, it looks nice and all, but you have to do something with that.
Who, Nashville? Sorry.
Bale,
Bale. Oh, he's playing. Oh, I wish I
I
could
think he's
watch it.
in. I see that man bun and I see an 11. I'm pretty sure that's him.
That's Bale. Yep.
Um,
Not
yeah.
Cifuentes.
It makes it makes it easy because at least LAFC is wearing black, but two man buns on the field at the same time is of course a lot more man bun than what we're used to seeing in MLS.
Yeah, a bit difficult there. So, Aces says, I've chatted with Michele Giannone about Chicago. Michele believes this is a playoff roster. I'm with Michele. I think it's a playoff roster looking at the
I don't know if they're
names.
starting.
I don't know if
Yeah,
they actually do it, though. Like Shaqiri, Mueller, Duran, Shabilko,
they have playoff talent.
Gutierrez, and then the Navarros. I wouldn't say Sekulic is a playoff right back, but like Zichos, Slanina, they could do it. They just have to really do a
Yeah,
good
they're gonna
job.
need a good run.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, MLS is it's the parity league, right? So in theory, any team could make it.
Yeah.
I think most teams could make it right now. I mean, not all teams at this point in the season.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep us moving. So let's go ahead and start with Philadelphia 2, New England 1. Ure getting another goal. He's been on a hot streak. Gazdag getting a penalty. Gustavo Bo, 61st minute, getting a
Yep.
consolation. I mean, looking at the stats here, I'll be honest, I didn't see this match. 20 shots, 6 on target for Philly, 18 shots, 7 on target for the Revolution. That looks like a really exciting match.
It was a good match. I had fun with it. That entire match changed in the span of like a few minutes for Philly, which is just it feels like that's the most Philly thing in the world right now this season is, they're gonna have this kind of match where you're like, you got to do something, you got to do something, you got to do something. You know, you're missing your chances, you're not converting, and then all of a sudden they score 2 goals in like 4 minutes. And you're like, oh, okay, that's that's Philly, and that's what happened to the Revs. They had, Ure with a great header, and then Gazdag draws, great penalty, and then it's over.
So that was the Revolution's first loss in quite a while, right?
Yeah, they've been doing all right.
So let me
I
let
would
me
have to
pull up
pull
the
up their.
share. Yeah, I'm gonna pull
Yeah,
it
I've
up
got to
right
pull up
now.
their history.
Well, I was looking at the form table the other day, and like, oh, they literally no. Okay, I lied. They just lost in New York City, 4-2. But then before that, they had gone a really long time without losing. It was a very impressive run. So two losses in a row for New England, and they've got a difficult trip up to New England, or sorry, up to Columbus, um, next
Down to
weekend.
Columbus, over to Columbus.
Oh yeah, down and over, southwest to Columbus. Um,
Yes, back and to the left.
so yeah, so regression to the mean seems to be the way people are discussing this New England side. Um, it's hard to disagree. I mean, they're definitely not even close to as dominant as they were last year, but they were also winning a lot of close games that this season seemed to be going in the other direction.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. I mean, again, the sport is a sport of variance. Like they could have just had a statistical outlier of a season
Mm-hmm.
where you wouldn't have expected them to finish the chances they did, or you would have expected other clubs to finish more of the chances they had. And the outcome of that is that New England had a phenomenal, amazing season. So maybe they're playing no different. Although I feel like they're playing at least a little different. I don't think they're playing as well this year.
Yeah, I mean they've got they brought Leggett in, they've got Barrero in as well. You know, McNamara and Polster aren't having as good of a season. Obviously, Omar Gonzalez exists, and that might as well be a negative there. Altidore has come in as well, so like they're definitely a team that is not even close to the quality that they had in their historic run last season. Um, Philadelphia, man, they are back to their consistent ways. Three wins in a row now: 7-0 over DC, 2-1 over Miami, 2-1 over New England, and next up it's away against Orlando City. Wouldn't be surprised to see another win there. They are on a roll and currently sit on 39 points, just 3 points off of LAFC, who currently, with the current scoreline in Nashville, sit on 42.
Yes,
And he takes on Philadelphia.
I good team.
Good team. All
A
right.
very good team. I mean, because I think they triggered the buy option on Carranza as well
Yep.
after that 7-1.
7-0.
7-0, sorry. Yeah, that's
Even
right.
worse.
Yeah, even worse. Sorry, I was getting flashbacks to Minnesota versus Cincinnati in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so they have Carranza now, and it's like, I don't know if that's an outlier of a match for Carranza, but I guess it really doesn't matter because every single player on Philadelphia seems to have a role and know what that role is. So, yeah, I mean, I still think they're the front runner for the East.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next match here. I think we're looking at Montreal 1, Toronto 0. Um, Toronto, like you said, not a good team. Montreal,
Not a good team.
good team. McNaughton getting the own goal. How did the own goal come about? Do you remember?
Uh,
I didn't see it.
well, I remember distinctly watching this, and I remember just not taking note of the own goal. Admittedly, I was too busy being like, Toronto's really not as good as I would expect them to be.
They're gonna get better.
I don't know
Bernadeschi,
if they will.
Insigne. Come on.
But see, the thing is, I don't know if they will. Like, their most Mark Anthony K is a good player, but he looked to be their most dangerous player from like as I was watching. And it's like if your most dangerous player is Mark Anthony K, like I'm sorry, but I have other questions about how your team is running right now.
You can't tell me that Insigne and Bernardeschi going into Toronto is not going to improve them
It
and
will
not make
improve
them a
them,
better team.
but I don't. I think individually they will be a better team. I do not know if Toronto will be able to build anything that resembles a better sum of their parts,
Okay.
which is what I think most any successful team has to be, is better than the sum of their parts.
So do you think that's like a Bob Bradley issue?
I don't know what it is, if I'm being honest. I mean, Toronto wasn't doing great before, and they're still not doing great. And I don't know if that's a Bob Bradley issue, if that's an existing culture issue, if this is, I mean, maybe it's just a system issue, but then that goes back to a Bob Bradley issue. I mean, Bradley's been in the role for, what, half the season now? So,
Fans
I
are
don't
not
know.
happy with him.
I wouldn't be happy.
Mm-mm. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
either. I'm not happy with my
Mm-mm.
coach, and we're sitting in the playoffs.
Later. We'll get to that one. We'll get to that one.
Yeah. Biggest news out of Montreal, I think, is Georgi Mihailovic coming off the bench for this match.
Yeah.
It's good to have him
Yeah,
back.
Mihailovic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been, what, since May that he's been injured, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I would be very interested to see if Mihailovic takes Montreal from, like, being a good team back to being, like, another East contender.
Oh, this is 2021. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
No, this is 2020.
No. I know. I had the thing on 2021 because I was like Montreal in 10th. That doesn't make sense. No, yeah, Montreal 4th place definitely, sitting on 32 points. Having Mihailovic back, he is. Montreal should get a home playoff spot. They should.
They should.
Especially if they can keep him injury free and on the
Yes.
team by the end of the season. All right, so
Yeah.
next up on our list, as I'm clicking around here, this is yesterday's games. So we're looking at Minnesota 2, DC United 0. All right, I'm going to hold my hands up. Hold them up for the stream. They can see me. I said a certain someone is too slow to be successful in this league early on in the season. That certain someone there is Bebelo Reynoso. And he has been on an absolute tear recently. An absolute tear. So,
Gavin,
yes.
would you like to know what my first note was for this match?
What was it?
Reynoso is so good.
So,
There's that many so's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 goals in this match against DC United. All right, let's go through the last 5 matches for Minnesota because he's been insane in all of them.
Oh, Reynoso's been phenomenal. While you're going through that, I want to point out, I specifically had called out, in the 16th minute, Reynoso had this beautiful sequence headed towards goal and just crossed the ball into the box. And, I mean, it was phenomenal. I don't even think that was the goal. I don't think they even converted off that cross for Reynoso. But, just the technical, I guess, security of Reynoso, I was like, why? He's so good.
Yeah, 6 goals in his last 5 appearances. I'm sure a handful of assists as well. Very impressive from Reynoso there. And then on the flip side, DC United they're very hot and cold. They're very up and down, right? So looking at their side of things, they came to Orlando and won 5-3. Went to Philly and got smacked, just 7-0. Tied at home to DC in a game to Columbus in a game that I thought they were very impressive in. They created chances. They created big chances. Looking at you, Russell.
Hey, I love big chances.
I know.
Hold on, wait. Let me pull up Foot Mob.
Okay, Foot Mob's coming up. No, yeah. DC created a lot of good chances. They just didn't finish them. They looked like they were. It almost looked like, and maybe this is just going storyline big brain here, but it looked like they were affected by the 7-0. Taxi snatched at a chance. Another player snatched at a chance. They were missing shots. They weren't hitting them on target that you would normally expect these players to hit on target. And they still ended up drawing 2-2 with Columbus. And then they go to Minnesota and lose 2-0. So DC, obviously, they've got the quality. I think it's the system. We've talked about it before. And that's why they're hot and cold. Some days their quality is going to outdo the opposition, but the system overall, I just don't think it's a good one.
Do you think that DC United might be in a similar position to LA Galaxy, where their entire success seems to stem entirely from if Fountas is on or off that night? Similar to Galaxy, if Chicharito is on, Galaxy does well. If Chicharito is not on, Galaxy does not do well.
I mean, I guess he's the only one really having end product.
Yeah, I mean,
I
to give you some context, DC United in this match had an expected goals of 0.26.
What?
Yeah, 0.26 expected goals was the
Are you
stats
sure
for
it's
this
not
match.
post shot?
This is expected goals, is
No
0.26.
way.
Yes.
Oh, for the Minnesota match. The Minnesota match.
Yeah, the Minnesota match.
Oh, okay. Yes, that makes sense.
Right,
Yeah.
the one that was yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking Columbus match for some reason.
No.
Yeah, 5 shots, 0 on target. I mean, Fountas didn't start, so I mean, I guess that answers your question. Fountas didn't start, and they created nothing. So yeah, I would say this team lives and dies by whether Fountas is on or not.
No.
I didn't think of it that way. That's a good way to say it. Okay, so let's move on here. Next match on the docket, if I can backspace to the where we were supposed to be. Chicago won. Seattle no. We already talked about this one a little bit.
Right.
All I'll say is Chicago looked good, and Seattle didn't have many answers.
But I don't think Seattle's a good team right now.
I think that's fair to say. I think they're outside of the playoffs right now.
Yeah,
I think they're 8th.
And they don't look like a playoff team, at least the past 2 weeks. I would argue that even their most recent win, I think their most recent win was what? It was over Toronto, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, their most recent one was over Toronto, who I also would argue is a bad team. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think most people should be beating Toronto. Sorry, Toronto.
Yeah. Sorry, Toronto fans.
Toronto fans, I like. You've got a beautiful stadium. I'm just sorry about your team.
Yeah. I think... Do you think they make playoffs? Or do you think they struggle throughout the season? They've never missed playoffs.
I mean, right now they don't look like they're going to finish out the season very strong, but I mean, Seattle, we've seen them play really, really, really well earlier in the season, so I don't know. I mean, I think there was even a comment by one of their players post-match that they had said, oh, like, you know, you can tell everyone's really tired. The team's not playing too well right now. And yeah, I mean, like, you can. The team isn't playing well right now.
Yeah, I think I also saw a comment like this is not the same team that won CONCACAF Champions League. No. So like they're definitely going through some issues. They're definitely having struggles, but also I feel like I don't know. I feel like just they're not capitalizing like they usually do. Like usually Ruidiaz and Ladero are on it.
Yeah.
You know, they are
injured right now.
Jordan Morris on it. Who's injured? Or
is Ruidiaz injured?
Let's see here. I thought he played in this match. No. Oh, Bruin started. So Ruidiaz is injured. You're right.
There you go.
So, I mean, how many times is Ruidiaz going to be injured throughout a season? It feels like it's happening more and more recently.
Every season. Every single season.
For as good and as clinical as a striker he is, does Seattle need to look in another direction?
Maybe. I mean, like you said, he's good, but one of the best abilities, as it's been said time and time again, the best ability is availability. So, I mean, at a certain point, you've got to say, hey, it's great that you're a phenomenal top tier striker, but if we're only getting you for 20 matches or 25 matches in the season, we need someone who can play 30 to 32 matches this season.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I would say Rui Diaz should be replaced. They had the opportunity. I mean, at this point, it's not. They shouldn't regret it at all, right? I think he scored 2 goals in the final, right?
Yeah.
But they
Yeah, I mean, he's
did
been good.
have
He's been
the
really good.
yeah, they did have the opportunity with this last contract. This past offseason, there was worries he wasn't going to re-sign, and they were going to sell him. Proved to be the correct choice to re-sign him. But now, as they struggle, it's looking like could they have gone with somebody else? I'm going to say no. They should have. They made the right choice there. But they should be looking at maybe a good, solid second option. Like if they could get a TAM level striker, which interesting sidebar. I feel like that's not gotten a lot in this league. It's either DP or non-DP, but no TAM.
I would agree with you.
Like Jimenez, I think, is a TAM in Toronto. Chicho Arango's a TAM.
Yeah, that's a great, phenomenal, maybe the best TAM contract in the league.
Tati Castellanos was a TAM. Maybe that's the way the league needs to go. The clubs need to go. They need to focus on TAM level strikers, not DP level strikers.
Maybe. Brandon Vasquez is a GAM level striker right now, I think.
Yep, Abobase. He's GAM.
Yeah.
GAM, wham, bam. Ferreira, I mean, he's a DP now. He got signed as a DP. But he was homegrown.
Yeah. I guess he's a DP. They don't get the subsidy. I wonder if you can get a DP homegrown. Does your DP get cut in half from that? Maybe instead of being like, that's a shame.
I doubt
it. Is Ferreira a young DP?
Should be.
Okay, well then he's probably,
I
think the young DP. Oh, then yeah, he's a young DP. I think he'd be like.
Hold on, let me not spread misinformation.
No, spread misinformation. We don't believe in
Ferreira.
facts here.
21 years old. I was correct.
All right, there you go.
Which is insane. He'll be gone this season. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about your age. Oh.
What was that?
I thought you were talking about being correct was insane. I was like, yeah, very off-brand for us.
Not quite. No, just him being that young. All right. Next up on the docket. Oh, by the way, I meant to ask you about Gressel's tweet for DC.
Mm-hmm. The one where Stephen Goff was like, Gressel to be traded to the Whitecaps, and Gressel was like, I'm glad I found out about this 2 minutes ahead of you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's the one.
That's the one. I think I shared that one to you, didn't I?
Maybe you did. I saw it like on my feed. But
love it.
Is that an issue? Like, if you're a Vancouver fan, do you have an issue with that?
Gressel?
With Gressel being frustrated, like, that he's being traded to your team?
I mean, I'm assuming that he's probably frustrated with DC's front office.
Right.
Vancouver's a pretty nice city.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there are some fans that are like, wow, this dude's not excited to come to us.
I mean,
like, would he be saying that if he were moving to LA or if he were moving to Miami, New York? I don't know.
Well, I mean, he wasn't targeting Vancouver in that tweet, though. He was targeting the DC front office. So,
yeah.
And maybe you could look at it as like, if you're a fan, you're like, hey, this guy's coming to us with a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. Like, he's going to buy in and want to play and be like, look at, you traded me. Like, look what you could have had on your team.
Mm-hmm.
So
Vancouver did spend a decent chunk of change on him.
No way. I think they got a good value.
They got like $900K, didn't they?
For Gressel?
I mean, he hasn't been that good for DC.
I mean, like, I think Gressel's pretty good at his position.
Well, yeah. I don't know if he's $900K though. That's like $1 million.
Yeah, you're right. He's probably like at least $1.2 million. $900K.
Oh my god. Can't stand you. No, I think he's
I
more
think it
like
was good business.
700 ish. So I guess, going two over.
Yeah. Well, if we split the difference between us, then we get to 900K.
Oh, from the 1.2. Yeah.
Right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
There we go. We've solved it.
We solved
That
the
you know
issue.
what? That's where it is. Vancouver probably like, we'll give you 700. DC was like 1.2, and they said let's meet in the middle, 900. So we've done it.
All right.
We've armchair front officed it.
Yeah. All right. Dog watch. Say hi. Oh, and the Orlando City Cup right there. You can't see. The
I
viewers
cannot
can
see it. Instead, I'm looking at this cat. I got a
Oh,
cat sleeping under the desk. He was
I would
biting my
ask you
foot
to do
earlier.
cat watch, but I know your camera is weird.
Yeah, my camera's weird. I can pick up the camera, but then
You could pick up the
good luck.
cat, but
Oh, I could.
good luck with that too.
Yeah, especially well, he's curled up. He's asleep next to the computer tower, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I get that like the tower's putting out hot air. You're probably very comfortable here, but if the fans are sucking in your fur, we're gonna have issues.
Lots of issues, yes. All
Yeah,
right. Next on the docket, Colorado 2, Galaxy 0.
yeah. I mean, that, my galaxy narrative.
Your Galaxy narrative, good.
My galaxy narrative.
Stocks rising. My
Yeah,
Zardes narrative, stocks falling. 2 goals in
right.
2 matches for Zardes after I said his transfer was an F on the Tom Boger episode. Uh,
You did it. You revived Zardes.
yeah, I guess so. Maybe
Colorado
he
fans
was
should be
like
thanking you.
basically my fired up, using the
Yeah.
F grade for that.
Well, that's what it stands for. Is
F
you
for fired
graded
up.
it as fired up. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I gotta do a fired up for this week. I'm gonna have to choose that. Yeah, I have nothing much to say. This is an impressive win for Colorado at home. They've definitely got
Colorado
issues
needed it.
still, but they definitely needed it. And always nice to get a 2-0 win. Those are some
Right.
good wins. When you win 2-0, clean, solid,
Yep.
clean sheet, 2 goal.
Yep.
Oh, I love those
Everyone
games.
likes to beat the Galaxy too.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if the Galaxy are having a great year or not. Everyone likes to beat the Galaxy.
Cabral was getting some love. I don't know if
Oh.
love's the right word, but he was getting some love again
He's
for
been
yeah,
yeah. It is how long of a contract was Cabral given?
probably 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I want to say I heard someone say 5 years,
Yeah, that's
but
an
I have
issue.
not independently validated that. But yes, I agree with you that that is an issue.
How are you gonna independently validate that? Are you gonna ask him?
No,
Hey,
I was just go
Kevin.
Google. Yeah,
Well, with MLS, I never know with the contracts with MLS, but
yeah,
yeah,
I guess that's
um,
true. Someone has to have asked.
yeah, I'm sure. But it's a long-term contract. He was getting
Right.
some hate, not some love, cause he's been a bust, flat
Yeah,
out.
he's something good.
He's been a bust. Grandsier's been a bust. So we were
Less of
talking
a
about
bust.
this. Who?
Less of a bust than Cabral.
Less, but still bust, especially last year. Douglas Costa,
Not good.
more of a bust than a Cabral.
Mhm.
We were talking about this offline. Does Greg Vanny get to keep his job? Do you think he'd last the rest of the season? Like, not sacked this week, but do you think he gets sacked eventually this season?
Maybe towards the end of the season, they might, they might do it just to, just to send a message to fans. I mean, have they started their season ticket renewal process yet? Because
I mean, probably.
yeah, I mean, FC Cincinnati started theirs like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, it's the middle of the season.
Yeah. Galaxy have 27 points, the same as Portland. They sit in 7th place.
I mean, Chicharito will take them to the playoffs, or Chicharito will not, but it won't be. It won't be because someone else carried them.
No, it's definitely, it all rests on his shoulders. They need some better recruitment strategies. They need some better players.
Where do you put the fault on some of these contracts? I mean, is
Well, not
this,
the coach.
yeah, I mean, not the coach, but like, Is this the scouting department's getting it wrong? Is it the general manager's getting it wrong? I mean, how much say does Greg Banny even have on some of these contracts? Like, does he hold even like 10% of the blame?
I mean, I think a little bit. I'm sure he signs off on a couple of these players, and maybe Cabral was someone he really wanted. And I don't know. I
Uh,
don't know the different intricacies of that front office. I think he definitely shares a portion of the blame. He's not figuring it out on the pitch. But there was that interview with Derek Williams. Did you see that?
no.
So he's basically asked like, "What's going on? Like, what's the issue with the team?" And he's like, basically, players like the coaching staff does a good job of getting us prepared for the match, and then players don't do the thing that they're asked. There's a lot of individuals out here, and we're not playing as a team. And he basically said that, I paraphrased it, but he used the word we have players playing as individuals, and so he was basically slamming some of these players on the team and just things aren't working in Los Angeles for the Galaxy right now, and I
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to
I,
be a fan of that team because they have not been good for a while and they are not figuring it out.
yeah. And I would say anytime you start to hear that phrase where players are playing as an individual, not as a team, that should be throwing red flags for you. I mean, we had that with Cincinnati. We've gone
Mm-hmm.
through that too. We've had plenty of seasons where we're not playing as a team. And I mean, it's well known how Cincinnati did those years.
Yeah, I I'm worried. I'm worried for them. I think they're
Yeah,
gonna possibly miss playoffs,
I
and
think they will.
again, I
Hmm.
think they made it. Did they make it last year? I can't even remember at this point.
I don't think they did.
2021. That's right. Galaxy and LAFC missed out.
No.
2020 they didn't make it. 2019 they did make it. I think they missed out
Okay.
in
No.
2018. This is the
Yeah, I mean
Eastern.
that's not been very good recently.
One playoff
I
appearance in the last 5 years, six
yeah,
years.
I sent you I sent you a text
Oh,
about some commentary, and they were saying that the Galaxy was going to make the playoffs this year. Do you think that they are being overly optimistic, or do you think that they are just buying into like reputational hype? Or do you think the Galaxy might truly make the playoffs this year?
well, I mean, I just said I don't think they will, but let's go through it. Let's go through the exercise, right? So, standings wise, in the Western Conference, let's not even look at LAFC, Austin, or RSL. Okay, let's not even look at LAFC and Austin. So third is
Right.
RSL, fourth is Minnesota, fifth is Nashville, sixth is Dallas. Those are the teams above LA Galaxy. Do you see any of those teams, LA Galaxy, throughout the rest of the season jumping over?
Not Nashville.
I think maybe
I
Dallas.
Yeah, maybe Dallas. I would give an outside chance to RSL, but very outside. I mean,
They would have to collapse, right?
right.
That's not looking like happening right now. Winning their
No, I
game
mean,
currently.
yeah, RSL has been consistent this year.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I mean that speaks very well to your team. You know, you don't have to be a 10 out of 10 performance every time, but if you can give like an 8 out of 10 performance week in, week out, you're going to do very well as a team.
Yep. So, um, so we've said possibly two. So, possibly two. Minnesota, probably not. I think Minnesota can hold where they're at right now. Fourth, fifth. That's kind of where they're at all the time. So,
Maybe.
below
Maybe.
them, Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, Colorado, Houston. All within 4 points. Oh, and San Jose. All within 4 points of Galaxy right now. All either equal or one game ahead of the Galaxy in terms of games played. I could see Seattle definitely jumping the Galaxy. I could see Portland jumping the Galaxy. I know we've
No.
been I
Yeah, I
know we've
don't
been negative on
uh,
What's his face?
Urgh.
Savarese.
Savarese?
But they're
No, no,
figuring it out.
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
Portland stays underneath them.
Do you think Vancouver can jump over Galaxy?
Yes.
I think so too. They've jumped over, they've risen up the table in quick succession before. They did it last season.
Yeah.
Colorado.
Ooh.
No.
I lean towards no right now.
Unless
but
Priso pops off and they make a big
right.
splash signing, which they won't.
Priso was good for them though.
Well, yeah, I rate Priso. I rated him in Toronto when I first saw him play. I think he's a good player. But
I mean, if Zardes keeps scoring a goal every single match for the end, from now till the end of the season, that helps.
That's a hot take right there, Russell.
It's a spicy take. That's how you know. It's how you know I'm getting towards the bottom of the second glass of tequila.
Right. And then Houston and San Jose. No and no. Right? They're not going to jump Galaxy.
Houston won't.
No.
San Jose could.
Unless Herrera pops off for Houston.
He won't.
Like, literally just explodes. Which he won't. Then we're looking at them not jumping Houston. And San Jose would probably need a new coach. And maybe another player because they lost Chofis. So that leaves Galaxy, I think, around 6th or 7th, 8th. So there's a very real chance then of them missing out. Because if we're predicting them 6th, 7th, 8th at this point in the season, like they could end anywhere from 5th to 11th with how close these end of season runs get.
Now that is interesting to think about. Does Galaxy finish outside the top 10?
Could you imagine? That would be an
Would Greg Vanney be sacked immediately?
Oh yeah. It wouldn't be his fault, but he'd be sacked immediately.
I don't know if Greg Vanney being sacked would be his fault, even if it happened like this off season. If I'm being honest.
Oh hey, Lo Nuevo, welcome back to the stream. Yes, David made these a long time ago. He made a hoodie and a hat. This is merch. Gave me a free one because David rocks. I don't know. I'll have to talk to David if he would want one. We would have to talk about that offline, but this is merch. If you're interested, feel free to DM, and I'll reach out to David and see what's up. We're just talking about Galaxy possibly missing the playoffs, and would Vanney get sacked immediately? My final answer is yes. Wouldn't be his fault, but yes. The front office has just royally screwed him over. And that came off the back of talking about Colorado beating them 2-0 at home. I mean, this is kind of one of those... Some would say this is just one of those mid-season results that MLS teams get. You get random losses and random wins here and there. But I do think it's more than that for the Galaxy. They're just a poorly run club, and it's showing. Dallas won. Austin won.
Mm-hmm.
Really exciting match. Really fun to watch.
I had fun watching.
Yeah, Dallas looked really good, and then Austin just went up the field and scored. That's just the way I can summarize it for anybody who didn't see this match. Austin were clinical.
I will tell you who people probably did not see. It was probably to not see Jesus Ferreira's legs at any point in time.
Why?
He's so fast.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
He's so quick. I feel bad for Dallas fans because Jesus Ferreira is just so good. I watched him in the 9th minute just clear out probably 2 or 3 yards of space between him and the nearest defender when he was just making a run for it. And I was like, how is that man so quick? And yes, they did not score off of it. But I have a lot of these. Is this player did something amazing. They didn't score, but it was amazing. And I mean, again, it's just
that's our beautiful sport.
Yeah, Ferreira is all over my notes. like at just various points in time. I mean, he is like I can't even relegate Dallas to where like LA Galaxy is, where it's like, oh, they live and die by Ferreira, because like Paul Areola is just as dangerous. But yeah, I was surprised with how Dallas played that they did not get more than one goal.
Yeah, they probably should have. They had the better chances throughout the game.
Yeah, I'm looking it up
Austin,
right now. Hold on,
oh my
I'll
lord.
use the word. I'll use it.
Well, while you're looking at that up, Lo Nuevo y Lo Viejo says Galaxy haven't been spending smartly. They need to step up or will be outshined by LAFC. I think at this point, since LAFC have been in the league, Galaxy have been outshined by LAFC.
Oh yeah,
And I
they
know
definitely have.
does Galaxy have a better record in the
El
El
Tráfico.
Traficos?
I would have to look it up. I do have the stats on Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
This is something you're gonna love here. Expected goals for Dallas was 2.38.
Oof.
They had 4 big chances and missed 3 of them.
Yeah.
I know you don't rate big chances as a metric, but
when you get 4 of them.
yeah, when you get 4 of them, like even if that's a 50-50 shot, you should still have 2 goals.
Yeah. All right, I'm pulling up the El Trafico numbers here.
Yeah.
To finish off that last discussion. Against LA, let's zoom in here. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
16 matches. LAFC have 4 wins, 5 draws, and 7 losses. So the Galaxy have been the better team in the El Traficos. But throughout the seasons, LAFC have been the better team as a team. So
well, how many of those losses have come recently for LAFC?
All right, let's look at that. That's a good point. LAFC just won the most recent one.
They did.
But I know they lost one in the Open Cup. LAFC's last win before that was 2020.
Okay.
And then they have 2 other wins. One in 2020, MLS is back, and then one in the MLS Cup playoffs.
Okay.
2019.
So like one win that actually counts.
Yeah, by the looks of it, 2 wins. 2 wins that actually count. One in 2020, one in 2022.
Yeah, one additional.
Yeah.
So, what is Vanni Sartini wearing?
Probably a T-shirt and.
He's wearing a green T-shirt with like yellow like wave lettering on it, and I just looked over at this match, and I don't know what it is.
Vanni Sartini is a mood. All right, Lo Nuevo has another question for us. What does Dallas need to do to be a contender?
Convert their goals. I mean, like how many times? Actually, that's something interesting. I would like to see a stat on it, because I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas has similar XG underperformance that like Cincinnati has, because Cincinnati is they're prolific underperformers for the chances that they create, and I would guess that Dallas is probably similar.
All right, let's do it. I'll do it right now. MLS FB Ref. We'll pull up the XG and look at their actual goals. So, that's the Eastern Conference. Over in the West. Now that's interesting. Team with the most XG in the entire league is Galaxy. Or sorry, in the West. Yet they sit 7th. Okay, who are we talking about? Dallas are 4th with 31.7 expected goals.
Mm-hmm.
They have 31 goals.
Interesting.
They have expected goals against 25. They've given up 25 goals. They are exactly where the underlying statistics say they should be in terms of goals and for and goals against. So my question there then is, or my answer, not my question, sorry. I feel like the way Dallas become a contender is they need one more serious attacking threat. either from the squad, Obrian steps up, or Hara steps up and like really gets good, or they go out in the market and get somebody. I think defensively they're fine. I think the midfield's fine as long as everyone stays healthy. Pomacol is always scary. Cerrillo's been a good option this year. Cervania as well.
Is Michael where you upgrade maybe? Because Velasco's been good for them. He created a lot of chances last night, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Ferreira is Ferreira. I mean, how do you replace someone like that in the league right now? And Paul Areola has been, I mean, he's been phenomenal for them.
Right, but I think they need a fourth, not a starter, but first one off the bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who could come in and contribute, who can rotate across the front three probably. And I think that pushes them over the edge to become a contender. What do you think it is? What do they need to do? Because right now I don't think it would be legitimately realistic to see Dallas in an MLS Cup final.
I think you're probably right. I think it's going to be the midfield is what they need. Because, and hear me out on this,
Okay.
FC Cincinnati was and still is a not very great team because of their midfield.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any depth. So, like with Moreno out, they have Wobodo. And that's like their ability to control the midfield is one guy. So I think if you want the cheat code for MLS right now is to have a good midfield. Like a team that cannot get through your midfield, cannot create any sort of good chances, and they're constantly turning things over because you're able to strip the ball off them in the midfield and then immediately play in transition. Like, take the ball off someone in midfield and send it to Ferreira, who's going to probably outrun 95% of the players in this league if you send the ball forward.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
So their starting midfield is usually Quignon, Pomacol, Cervania. So you think somewhere in there needs to be an upgrade?
Yeah. I would say...
Probably Quignon.
I was actually thinking Pomacol.
Really? I feel like he's been so good for them this year, no?
But, again, we're talking about, availability is the best ability. If he's an injury concern, that's probably where you want to upgrade, right?
I mean, that's a good point.
Because, I mean, we've seen teams where, one or two injuries, like you get an important player injured, you don't have any depth to take that injury. Like, you can't roll with it. So either you just completely collapse on that side of the field, or you're playing, a completely different formation that maybe your guys aren't used to. So, yeah, I would say you want healthy guys. Availability is the best ability. I'm really buying into this. I love this phrase right now.
I'll buy it. Okay, availability is the best ability. To answer your question, Lo Nuevo, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Dallas, to become a real contender, need an upgrade in midfield to help with availability issues and quality issues. Clicked on the wrong one. Yeah. Austin, I think Austin won the Texas Cup or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, and they lifted it out in like the parking a lot.
Yeah. I loved that.
Yeah, apparently people were like going back and forth on it on Twitter, and I guess like apparently all the clubs voted on it, saying if a road team won it, then they were going to lift it in a parking lot. So I don't know if that's true or not, but
so like they wouldn't be allowed to lift it in the stadium.
Right, that's what they were saying.
But if the home team won, they could lift it in the stadium.
Right.
I think that's stupid.
I don't disagree with you, but the storyline is that was apparently agreed upon by the three clubs. So
whatever. Hey, I think it's awesome. I love that thing. I love that idea. I had an idea a long time ago for the Southeastern Shield, is what I call it. Atlanta, Miami. I think I had the idea when Miami was in the league. Obviously, didn't have the idea when Charlotte was in the league, but would include Charlotte in that, and then Nashville, and
I
just
wouldn't include Nashville.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't. Nashville's
They're
a
in
Midwest city to me.
Tennessee.
No, they're a Midwest city. They're on the
Oh
fringes of the
my
Midwest.
god. But like they're like a rival with Atlanta, and Orlando and Nashville are kind of like those are one of those like rival games that aren't actually like a rivalry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wasn't because didn't they put like Nashville Charlotte as like the rivalry week match this year, which made no
I
sense.
think so, yeah. Well, Charlotte doesn't have a rival.
Right, their rival is themselves right now.
Right, yeah. But like for example, Atlanta and New York Red Bulls whenever they play, they hate each other. They're always like aggressive games.
Right.
But they're not like rivals. Like Orlando and Nashville are starting to have like a little rivalry going on. So
Good.
I would
I'm
include
about
them
it.
because
Bring
they
more of it in.
yeah. And then Nashville and Atlanta obviously are a rivalry. I'm doing air quotes. You can't see.
Well, I'm saying no. As a Midwesterner, I'm claiming Nashville.
Whatever.
I saw an interesting map where it was like what percentage of people claim that they live in the Midwest by state, and the highest percentage of people who claimed they live in the Midwest was actually in Illinois.
They're like in the like North Midwest, right?
I think Chicago is the quote unquote capital of the Midwest, which I guess is fair. Yeah. Even though I would argue it's on the outer edges, like it doesn't stretch, like the Midwest doesn't stretch outward from Chicago. It's like here's the Midwest and here's Chicago, but
I mean, I'm not an expert on the Midwest, unfortunately.
Well, as a Midwesterner, I will claim to be an expert on the Midwest. I have all the right phrases.
All right. So we've been going an hour, and I don't even think we might be halfway done. Miami 3, Charlotte 2.
Big fan.
Was it a foul?
No.
Okay.
No, we agree on that one though.
Yes, I agree. It was not a foul. It's also not a foul in the context of MLS referees that allow basically anything to happen in the last 5 minutes of a match when there's a team chasing a game. Do you know how many times referees will just let something slide in the last 5 minutes?
Yes.
When the home team's chasing a game? I think it's ridiculous.
Because we've been on the receiving end of some of those. Similarly, we've benefited from some of them, so I mean...
Yeah. All teams benefit when they're chasing. You just shove a guy over and the ref's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I've been... Look, I've been on my anti-pro referees kick for, since Lucho got his suspension. I've been part of the upset group of people.
But, free Lucho.
Yeah, hashtag free Lucho.
Yeah, I do agree though it wasn't a foul, and I mean he made that run perfectly. I had to go back and pause because the ESPN the replay booth didn't do a good job of pausing it on the good angle, and he got the run spot on for the goal, Emerson Rodriguez. So that's always good to see. I always like a perfectly timed run and a perfectly timed pass. Perfectly pined, I almost said that. Gut punch for Yordi Reyna.
Who's drinking the tequila here? Is it you or me?
No, I only had one beer. Gut punch for Charlotte. They almost got another road win, and Miami turned it around big time. Robert Taylor having a fantastic match. Anything else to say on this one?
I love it. This was a really fun match. This was bordering on a match of the week for me.
Ooh. Well, we do have to pick a rewatch. Well, we just rewatched Charlotte.
We did just rewatch Charlotte.
And Miami. We'll have to hold on this one.
I had fun with it, though. I would rewatch it just for fun.
Yeah. All right.
I may do that.
Let's fly through the matches that happened today. Atlanta United 1, Orlando City 1. I guess I'll take this one for the most part. So Orlando got the free kick goal, the free kick goal where the goalkeeper wasn't ready even though the whistle was blown. And We're feeling good. We're feeling good about ourselves. 15 minutes, we were the better team. We were on top. Everything's looking good. And 15 minutes go by, and Atlanta are 1-0 down, so they start pressing. And if your team is playing Orlando City this year, press their back line. Don't let them get out. They can't handle it. They don't go over the top. They don't have any speed in behind. Atlanta kind of fell into the strategy that was gonna end up working for them throughout the match. So they did that. Atlanta pressed for about another 20-25 minute spell, and Orlando really didn't see a lot of the ball. Didn't really create anything at all. Near the end of the half, Orlando got a little bit more comfortable, went a little bit more direct, and then when they got the ball, they focused on just keeping the ball. So second half rolls around, Atlanta start pushing, Orlando start to dig into their shell a bit more, and then Josef Martinez comes on, substitutions, Atlanta get a free kick goal, 1-1. Orlando had 3 shots, as you can see here on the screen share that I'm showing you. 3 shots, 1 on target. The 1 on target was the goal. This is, I think, Orlando's 3rd game of the season, having under 5 shots throughout the full 90. So as an Orlando fan, it's just been a really frustrating season for us. Really frustrating season. Did you watch the match, and did you have any other takes on it other than what I just outlined there?
I did watch the match. My takes were similar to you. I want to ask you, are you ready to commit to the official hashtag Pareja out?
I am. And I'm very, listeners, you'll know, I'm very level-headed when it comes to this stuff. I don't see how this is sustainable, and when I reach that point, I'm ready for the coach to go. Last season and the season before, I think what Orlando was doing was sustainable. We made some changes in the roster, and we haven't changed the tactics, and the players we brought in don't fit the tactics. Now, we got unlucky with a player named Gaston Gonzalez, who would have been a perfect fit on our left-hand side. Up and down sprinter, very good at whipping the ball in, very quick, works hard defensively. Would have been a great fit for Oscar Pareja on the left side. And maybe that would have unlocked the right. But we focus a lot of our offense through Juan, and he sucks at crossing. And we don't stop trying to do that and try something new. So it's just been a frustrating season. So I am fine if he were to be sacked tomorrow. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't be fine. After the Open Cup, we are in the Open Cup semifinals.
You are. If you win the U.S. Open Cup, does Pareja stay?
No, because I'm thinking much more. I'm thinking much bigger than Open Cup. The soccer we play is just, it's not enjoyable to watch. It's not sustainable. We don't have a good attack. The players don't, like, we have counter-attacking opportunities, Russell.
Right.
And the players will just turn around and pass backwards. And then we go all the way back to our goalkeeper, and then we build up an attack.
You hate to see that.
And we do it constantly. We did it like 2 or 3 times in this match against Atlanta. In the 93rd minute, this is fresh in my mind, so like I'm really upset.
We had Cincinnati group therapy. It's time for Orlando group therapy. Go ahead.
93rd minute.
You're holding the talking stick.
93rd minute. We are. It's an open match at this point. Atlanta want to win. We don't want to lose. And Atlanta send a lot of bodies forward, and we win the ball in midfield twice. And we have them in open scenarios where we can run at them and like try and break through them and get a goal. And instead, we pass it around, we go backwards, we slow down the attack, and then we build up play. That is not just the players. That is like the tactics. Like, we're not going to push, we're not going to counter, we're going to try and get 1 point on the road here. And, like, as a coach, you need to be telling the players when that opportunity arises, you need to take it. And we just don't do that.
So now I notice something interesting that you said there. You said you're at the end of the match. Atlanta want to win. Orlando do not want to lose. Why is it?
That's our mentality. That's always our mentality. We don't want to lose. We get so
Yeah.
many draws because of it. Because we don't go for the killer blow. Atlanta are not a good team. Really, they're not. They've got so many injuries. Their back line's not good. And we didn't test them at all. 3 shots for that defense is ridiculous. And that I'm glad you highlighted that, because that's the mentality that makes me come to the conclusion that even if we won the Open Cup, I would still be okay with him being sacked at the end of the season. Because that's not the mentality of a good team.
I agree with you.
Yeah. All right, therapy session over.
All right, well, we can come back to it if you need.
I'll pass. New York City 1, New York Red Bulls 0. Tati Castellanos with the insane goal. And just another good... Oh, what is this one called? Riverside Derby? Hudson River Derby.
Yeah, the Hudson River rivalry.
Is it really rivalry?
I don't know. It's got alliteration, so it's got to be, right? We love alliteration here.
Yeah, but River... I like Derby better, but it probably is rivalry. Yeah, good match overall.
Yeah. It's a great goal from... Okay, question.
Okay.
Castellanos was cited, giving huge, giant hug, was showing a lot of love to the traveling fans, all that. And he was like the last player out for like New York City coming off the field. Is that indicative that maybe there's a move coming? Can we read into this at all? Or is this just a guy, doing his normal rounds and he got the game-winning goal? So it's a little more emotional for him because it's a rivalry match.
I didn't see it, so I'm not going to go full into it. But what you've just explained makes me feel like it could be a goodbye. Right?
Because I think it could be. It seems like it. And does that change New York City's prospects for the season?
Yes. New coach. No more big superstar in Tati Castellanos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how it doesn't.
I think they'll still make playoffs.
Oh, most definitely. How many points are they at right now?
A lot. What are they sitting in? Like third, fourth?
They're in second. They have 38. They would need like 14 more points to make playoffs.
Yeah, I think the historic cutoff point for playoffs is, I want to say, like 48.
Low 50s, high 40s, around there, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 48 has traditionally got you into playoffs. It's like 1.4 points per game is the safe cutoff. Like if you hit that, generally you're going to make playoffs. So I want to say it's like 48 is about and around where you need to be.
I hope he doesn't leave. It's been nice having him in the league. He's a very good player. But
adds to the quality of the league.
Yeah. All right. Fun times going on in San Jose. San Jose were up 1-0. Now they're down 2-1.
All right. I see. I thought you were going to talk about RSL because they're up 3-0.
No, yeah. I mean, that's standard. It's SKC. Columbus 2, Cincinnati 0. I'm going to be honest.
Never even seen it. Never heard of it.
Columbus were just dominant, but Cucho's finish with the header, so good.
So I've got a complaint that, again, we've done this to ourselves because it's like you've given Zelarayan, one of the best set piece takers in the league, a free kick in a phenomenal position. And it's just like, why do we keep doing this to ourselves? I do actually have a talking point, though. I think Wobodo is starting to get reputational fouls.
Yes, I
I
agree.
think because
He
he's
got a lot of
had
fouls
some,
in this match.
he got a lot of fouls, and some of them were clean challenges that in real time, I can guarantee you, it's like, yes, the player goes down and it looks like it's a close challenge. The replay comes back and says, "Oh, that was completely clean. Didn't get the player. It was the ball, all that." But he still gets whistled for the challenge, and I think it's reputational at this point. And I
Yeah.
don't think that's a good thing for him.
Mm-mm. When the refs get all reputational, it gets really annoying
Yeah,
because it's really hard to stop. Because
right. You and I
so
both know this well with another team.
yeah, Rubio on Colorado, um, gets reputational dissent foul yellow cards. Janssen on Orlando gets those as well. Diego Chara gets yellow cards because he's Diego Chara. Um, some would argue that he doesn't get enough yellow cards, even though he holds the most fouls in the league, or something like that. And then, yeah, I would agree on Nobodo.
Yeah,
He was getting a lot of fouls called against him in this match. But
he
overall,
was.
Columbus were the better team. Would you agree with
I
that?
I think it was Columbus were better, but it was not by what should have been a 2-0 margin. I think FC
Yeah.
Cincinnati, they absolutely had chances, and again, it tends to be the story of the night that Cincinnati doesn't convert or make use of any of their opportunities. Which, I mean, to that point, Columbus had chances and converted them, and so they're the better team on the night. But like at a certain point, you have to, I as a Cincinnati fan have to stop and ask, like, when are we going to start converting some of our opportunities? Because like it didn't have to be a 2-0. It could have been a 2-1. It could have been a 2-2. Granted, I think there was a blown PK call in there. I think there was in like the early part of the match. I think
Mm.
I want to say Nelson pulled someone back, pulled their shirt back, and like you could see it pretty clearly. And I'm not sure how it is that they came to the decision that that was not a penalty. It was maybe they thought it was too much of a 50-50 and he went down too easily. I don't know. So I think they definitely got a few lucky breaks in there.
Cincy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cincinnati, but I mean they did it themselves again because they also gave a million free kicks away. Columbus
Mm-hmm.
had enough set pieces that they probably could have gone more than 2 goals. So
Yeah. Columbus
I
are
don't know.
definitely a team revitalized after the Cucho signing. Currently sit in sixth
Absolutely.
place and are storming up the table
Yeah.
week by week. LAFC beat Nashville 2-1 on the road. Gareth Bale, if you've ever heard
Mhm.
of him, and Chiellini making their debuts today, I believe. Or maybe
Mhm.
Chiellini's already come on in a match. Um,
I don't know. I don't know if he started though. Let me
he
see.
started in this match.
Yeah, I don't know if he's had a starting debut.
Yeah. Um,
I don't think Gareth Bale started. Yeah, Gareth Bale didn't start in this match though.
No, but honestly, like to go away to Nashville and get a win, very impressive. And honestly, Nashville are struggling at home. Like they've been
Yeah,
very inconsistent. Beat Seattle, tie Portland, lose to SKC, tie San Jose. A lot of issues at home this season. Tie Atlanta, when the expectation is they were going to ride
they're
out
gonna be
that
good.
they were gonna ride out that away stretch and then go home and
Hmm.
just take off running, and just hasn't worked out that way for them.
Should Gary Smith be worried?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
I.
this team's a good team,
It is a good
not
team.
based on this
I
result, but just the trend.
I agree, and I remember when fans at first, especially one certain Mr. F's NSC, Travis Poole, was ironically saying hashtag Gary out, and now I think you start to see people actually unironically hashtag Gary out.
Yeah, I think it's gotten to that point with them. I can't blame them. I mean, there's like unrest in the fan base overall. They are
Yeah.
not happy with the club, and
Mm-mm.
the figurehead is gonna be Gary for you know
Yeah.
he
And
is
I
the
mean,
He's the one that shows whether the club's going in the right direction or not, the coach.
Right. I mean, I think, to, to all the things that have gone on with Nashville, right? I mean, like, their supporter groups were mad about the tailgate space being taken away, about the lack of communication with the club, that there are certain things they don't have, like they don't have TIFO rigging, I guess. And all those things, I think, are issues that are less contentious if your club is winning, especially winning at home.
Oh yeah, if they're first in the league, like it's contentious,
Yeah.
but I agree, way less.
But people would
contentious.
say, but, the front office, they're leading us in the right direction. We're top of the league. Like, we can take it.
Yep.
So, I
Ooh.
mean, winning makes all mistakes okay.
All right, so that is all the matches that have finished. We've got a 3-0 result for SKC or for RSL over SKC. Another red card
Right.
to add to the database.
I'll add it up. What are we on the database? Do you want me to pull it up?
Sure, why not?
All right.
We've got Houston Dynamo winning 2-1 on the road against San Jose. Pretty equal level of opponent there, so that game could go either way. And Portland are currently 0-1 down to Vancouver at home. We also have a question from Mr. JC at Mr. JCTX for us to answer. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, hit me with it.
Okay, so they say do some mid-season awards. So who's your mid-season MVP thus far?
My mid-season MVP thus far. I would say it's probably sitting at either Acosta or Driussi. And I go back and forth on the day. I mean, I guess to the point of FC Cincinnati without Acosta look horrific. They're not getting, any of the wins that they should be without him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you're down one player and all of a sudden your form completely changes and you're in a playoff spot, I mean, that seems like a most valuable player for that team at least.
Yep.
But then Driussi has been so good.
We're getting a call in here.
Yeah.
Calling out, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Can you hear me?
I think they can. So we're doing mid-season awards. This is David, everybody, obviously, the GOAT. We are talking some mid-season awards, and we just listed MVP. Want to hear your MVP first and foremost.
Who do you guys have? I want to hear it because I'm pretty sure I have somebody completely different from both of you.
Russell, who'd you say? You said Acosta, right?
Acosta and or Driussi.
Acosta and or Driussi. Sorry, I have to repeat. He's coming to my earbuds, David.
Yeah, I have somebody completely different from you guys.
All right, let's hear it.
If I'm pronouncing his name right, because I love pronouncing names.
Right.
I have Kai Wagner.
Ooh, that's
interesting.
Defender from Philadelphia Union.
Yeah.
Tied for second most assists with Acosta for 10. Take in mind he's a defender. A defender tied with Acosta for 10 assists. Only Gio has one more, which is 11. Fourth in key passes. 39 interceptions, which is fourth in the league. 74% pass accuracy. And the Union are number one in the East right now.
Mm-hmm.
Having lost a game in 4 matches. Scored 11 goals, and they've only allowed 2 in their net. So he's doing his back. He's doing his job at the back, but he's providing at the front with 11 assists.
All right, David. So I'm just going to have you go through the list, and then we'll discuss afterwards because, you won't be able to hear Russell. I like that pick, though. I really do.
I want to throw out, if you want to pass along to David, I saw...
One sec, David. Go ahead, Russell. Sorry, David.
I saw that Philly had said that Kai Wagner is also the first player, or at least first defender in their history to ever get to double-digit assists.
Okay, we'll discuss in a second, Russell. Go ahead, David. For newcomer.
Newcomer. Who do you guys have?
We haven't done it yet, but last episode we said Taxi Fountas.
Okay, so I'll do my list and then I'll get out of the way and then I'll listen to you guys, of course, on the live and see what you guys have. But I go down through the list. I have Taxi as well. I mean,
Hey, yes, sir.
10 goals, 3 assists in 12 games, and given what DC United is, which is a mess, ownership-wise, general manager-wise, coach-wise, everything. Trading Gresso, it makes no sense to me. All of it. Taxi has been the face of the organization, has completely stepped it up, and he's a mini Acosta with just more muscle.
Yeah, and very powerful run as well. Very strong
very
player.
powerful run.
All right, most improved individual and club.
Most improved club, I think we can all agree this is Austin, right? I mean,
Or
definitely
Cincy.
I have Austin definitely most improved and fun. 12 wins, 4 losses, 5 draws compared to last year, 9 wins and 21 losses.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, they're the most fun team to watch. 42 goals scored, 24 only received. They are pouring it down over there. They're not. I listened to Russell say that Cincinnati and Dallas are having a hard time scoring. Austin's not. Austin's having fun.
Mm-hmm. No, you're definitely right about that. So they're your most fun to watch as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely most fun as well. I was gonna put FC Dallas as well because FC Dallas has been a lot of fun to watch as well. But Austin, watching them at home, watching them score, it's really fun to watch them at the moment.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then best rated club for transfers and signings from January off season.
Very quick, I had the most improved player first.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
I have Porabiola.
Oh.
I was gonna go with Ferreira, but I decided to go with Porabiola because he has 9 goals, 2 assists compared to last year, where he only had 6 goals and 4 assists. Taking mine, that's total of the season last year, and we're only 21 games in, and he already has 9 goals and 2 assists, and I think he contributes a lot to that FC Dallas roster with Velasco and Ferreira. So that's my pick for most improved player.
I like that.
And what was the other question?
We had best rated clubs for transfers from the off season.
Best rated clubs for transfers. I mean, it's yet to be. That's a tough one because I was gonna write, obviously Toronto or LAFC, but we still haven't seen what they're able to do with their roster. But I think it's gonna have to go to the Crew just because of what Chucha's doing.
Yeah. Kucha. Well, this is from January, so I think like LAFC is a fair one.
Yeah, but LAFC's playful. Yeah, but I'm gonna stick with Chucha just because he scored today.
Yeah.
Him and Salvadorian have clicked so fast. And it's really fun to see them perform. So I'm gonna go with that. And those are my picks. And I'm gonna go right now to the live and listen to you guys chat, discuss, and disagree with me.
All right, thanks, David. Really appreciate it. Sorry we went so late. So
thank you guys. Till next time.
Till next time, my friend. All right, so that was a call-in. MVP, you said Acosta. He said Kai Wagner. I mean,
that's a good shout.
I didn't think about that. He had some.
That's a really good shout.
Yeah, I'm fine with saying Wagner personally as well. Like that many assists as a defender, and Philly. I mean.
Yeah, I mean.
Not a lot of defensive MVP candidates throughout the years.
No, you know what? I'm good to change it. I'm good to change my take to Wagner.
I'm trying to see if there's been a defensive MLS MVP. Tony Meola, 2000. He was a goalkeeper.
Yeah. I mean, even if you just think about the recent ones, right? I mean, you had Pozuelo, you've had Martinez, Vela,
David Villa, Diego Valeri. I've got the list pulled up here. Yeah. That's a good pick. I like that for mid-season MVP. Yeah. I like that. All right.
It almost feels out of left field, but I'm here for it. It's really good.
Yeah, so good stuff there, David, if you are listening. All right, let's go back over to the question here. Newcomer of the year, I think we all agree on Taxi. We can move on there. Most improved individual and club. I think Austin or Cincinnati for club. Individual.
Yeah, I would say Austin for club. I actually want to say Brandon Vasquez, individual.
I think that's fair. He was like,
He was 4 goals in 2021, all season.
I
And
hate to
he's
say it, but he was kind of like a nobody,
Yeah,
and
and he's
everybody
on
knows who he is now.
10 goals and like 4 assists now. I want to say for the season, and we're halfway through.
Ariel and Ferreira are also good shots as well. I mean, they weren't as good last season as they are now. Big improvements
Yeah,
there. Abobase?
they're uh, Bobasek could be a good shout. What did he do in 21? You look.
I think he was. Oh, what did Abobase do? I think he had a
Bobasek,
decent end of the season last year, but nothing
Bobasek in
crazy.
21 had 1 goal.
I mean, I'm I'm fine with saying Vasquez, but I think Abobase
Yeah,
deserves a mention there if he had 1 goal last year
I mean, he had 9 appearances. He had 759 minutes. He had 1 goal,
for
one
San
assist.
Jose. He had
Right.
3 for Portland, so he had 4 goals total in 21.
Okay.
Or
So
5,
he
sorry. He had 4 goals for Portland.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then he's relatively comparable to Vasquez, but I think he might have got more minutes than Vasquez. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that speaks positively to Abobase then to improve on your goals when you had a lot of minutes last year.
Yeah. All right.
I think that's my
Most fun to watch. I mean, Austin. Yeah.
Austin are fun to watch.
Cincy. Y'all have got bad
Mm,
defense, good offense. That's what I think is fun to
I
watch.
Yeah, I would say Cincinnati's good for a neutral. I would say it's very stress inducing for a fan,
Yeah. Um, San
but I don't know if that
Jose
makes them
are
fun to
always
watch.
crazy. Oh
But I'm a
man.
big fan of Red Bulls, but I think again, Red Bulls is they're very fun to watch when they aren't, you know, trying to draw a yellow card.
I think the answer is Austin,
I
based
think you're
on
right.
their attack
Yeah,
and the way they play. Like they play good, pretty soccer.
I would agree with that statement. I think Austin's the one.
Yeah. And so then we're left with best rated clubs for transfers and signings. Not a fan of David's pick of Columbus, considering
No,
they struggled early on in the season. I do agree
right.
Cucho was a fantastic pickup.
Really good. Okay, do you want to break it into? Could you see an argument for breaking it into best summer window thus far and best winter window?
Yeah, summer window is hard because like
But
there's Bale Chiellini, there's
right,
Insigne Bernadeschi, and then there's Cucho.
yeah. Well, but wasn't Insigne finalized in winter, and they had to then wait until summer to bring him in?
Yeah, yeah, it was a free transfer, so his contract had to run
Yeah,
out first.
yeah. They had like a pre-agreement that they signed like 6 months in advance or something.
So we'll list that as a winter, I guess. Bernadeschi, Bale, Chiellini, Cucho.
Yeah,
I'm fine with saying Cucho personally. I think
yeah. I
he's
mean,
going to have the biggest impact on the team he goes to.
yeah. He's had 4 goals so far, and he's played like 120 minutes.
Yeah, and I
It's
mean
pretty good.
that's really good. Yeah. Um, but to answer the original question for January, I think it's got to be LAFC and Austin. Like I know that's kind of boring, but
But
like
Austin, they've done so well. Like
Aruti, Finley, Gabrielson, and
Gabrielson's been really good too.
the guy from DC. I interviewed him. I should know his name. Oh my gosh, Felipe Martins, midfielder, all for free
Mm,
in the off season,
yeah,
and then
yeah. I mean,
like to me that's
okay,
really
well,
good business. And then LAFC, we're talking Ilie Sanchez, free agent,
right,
Hollingshead
really
they
good.
traded for Farfan.
Yeah,
Um, they got Ismail Tajiri Shradi.
yeah, great pickup.
Um, they had more. I know they did.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
go to transfer market here. This is so zoomed in.
I'm trying to think more and more on it, but it's just, I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with, I almost want to just stick with Austin. I mean, they made moves that rounded out holes in their roster, and now
Mhm.
Austin's at like top of the league or second place in the league.
Oh, Kellen Acosta, that was who?
Yeah, they did bring it. Well, yeah.
That was and Maxime Crepeau. That's right. Those are the other two pickups.
Yeah. Yeah. So Austin's at 1 point off the top. So LAFC on 42 points, Austin on 41. So I think if you're going to talk about most improved from a transfer standpoint,
Well, it was just best. Who had the best?
yeah,
Best rated clubs for transfers and signings.
I guess
So-
if you, you have to do LAFC then, right?
Mm-hmm. And
If you're
Austin, I think.
combining it, yeah. But if you're combining it for both windows so far, you have to do LAFC
I see what you're saying. Yep. I agree.
because they had a comparable window to Austin, and then they have signed Bale and Chiellini in summer
Yep.
on
All
TAM
right.
contracts.
So there we are. Final scores have come through, I believe. So San Jose lost to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
RSL beat SKC it was 3-0, and Portland are still losing to Vancouver. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. This was a really long one. Russell, thank you so much. Let's go into this one right here. You can find him as you look on the screen here at Mr. Danger Russ. Yep, right there where he's pointing. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate all the interactions. David, if you're still watching, thank you for jumping on. Loved the conversation with you. Hope to get you on one of these soon. And yeah, I guess all I can say is till next time.
Till next time.